Good morning all. Welcome to the lecture of measure and integration. Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in last lecture we have seen what is a product measure. Okay, actually first we have seen what is a semi-algebra. Semi-algebra is nothing but any collection curly C of subset of X is said to be a semi-algebra. If intersection of any two sets in C is again in C, then the corresponding C is and complement of any set in C is a finite disjoint union of sets in C. Then we say that the curly C is a semi-algebra. Okay, now after that we have defined the measurable rectangle. Okay, or that we have considered two complete measure spaces mu and gamma, such that we have considered the direct product of X and Y of two sets X and Y. If particular capital A is a subset of X and capital B is subset of Y, then A cross B is called a rectangle. And if these capital A and capital B are particularly members of sigma algebras, then the rectangle A cross B is called the measurable rectangle, and the collection of measurable rectangle is denoted by some symbol curly R. And after that we have proved one result in last lecture, which is nothing but a collection R of measurable rectangle forms a semi-algebra. That is, it must be intersection of any two sets in curly R is again in curly R, and complement of any sets in R is a finite disjoint union of sets in curly R. That we have defined one function lambda, that is if mu capital X curly A mu and capital Y curly B gamma with two complete measure spaces, and A cross B is a measurable rectangle. Then we have defined one set function which is from curly R semi-algebra to R plus union infinity, such that lambda of A cross B is nothing but mu of A into gamma of B. And after that again we have proved one result. If AI cross BJ is a countable disjoint collection of measurable rectangle whose union is again a measurable rectangle, that is A cross B is nothing but union over IJ AI cross BJ, where each AI cross BJ is a measurable rectangle, then A cross B is also measurable rectangle. And from that we have to prove the set function lambda is a countably additive on this disjoint collection of measurable rectangles. That is lambda of A cross B is nothing but summation over IJ lambda of AI cross BJ, where lambda is a measure which is defined on semi-algebra curly R. Okay, now after that we have defined a product measure. What is a product measure? Capital X curly A mu and capital Y curly B gamma with two complete measure spaces, and curly R be a semi-algebra of all the measurable rectangles A cross B whenever A is belonging to sigma algebra curly A and B is belonging to sigma algebra curly B. From that we have defined one set function lambda from curly R to R plus union infinity, such that lambda of A cross B is nothing but mu of A into gamma of B. And from this definition, lambda is a non-negative set function which is countably additive. Since lambda equal to lambda of A cross B equal to mu of A into gamma of B, and mu and gamma are the two measures and both are non-negative, then lambda must be non-negative. Again, as mu and gamma both are countably additive, then lambda must be countably additive, and lambda of phi will be equal to 0. Since mu and gamma are again measures, then mu of phi or gamma of phi is always 0. Therefore, its product must be equal to 0. That is lambda of A cross B must be equal to 0 whenever A cross B equal to phi. That is lambda of phi will be equal to 0. Now after that we have lambda. We need first we have defined a function lambda from curly R to R plus union infinity. Now we have to extend the function lambda. That is, we have to add the restrictions on its domain curly R. That is, lambda can be extended to a measure on a sigma algebra curly R dash. This sigma algebra curly R dash is generated by the semi algebra curly R, and this extended set function on a sigma algebra curly R dash is called the product measure, and it is denoted by mu cross gamma. That will be a definition of product measure lambda. Okay, now after that we have defined two concepts, that is X cross section and Y cross section. If E is any subset of the product set X cross Y, then for each value small x belonging to capital X, the X cross section, which is denoted by E to the base X, that is EX, and it is defined as EX contains all Y belonging to capital Y, such that the ordered pair XY is belonging to E. That is, EX is nothing but it contains all Y belonging to capital Y whenever XY belonging to, that is, ordered pair XY is a member of E. Okay, and EY is nothing but, that is Y cross section EY contains all X belonging to capital X, such that the ordered pair xy is belonging to capital E. So these are the two sets in which first one is nothing but Ex cross section, and this will be a Y cross section. And why this definition? Ex contains all the members of Y. It means Ex is a subset of Y and EY is a subset of X. Okay. Now from the definition of X cross section and Y cross section, we have defined a characteristic function on the sets Ex and Ey. Okay, and the characteristic function Ex is defined from domain Y to its range or codomain close to 0, 1, and it is defined by chi Ex equal to chi Ex of Y is equal to 1 whenever Y is belonging to Ex, and which is equal to 0 whenever Y is not a member of Ex. Okay. And we know that Y is belonging to Ex if and only if the ordered pair xy is belonging to E. Therefore, chi Ex of Y is nothing but chi E of ordered pair xy. And similarly, chi Ey is a function from capital X to 0, 1, and which is defined by chi Ey of X is equal to 1 whenever X is belonging to Ey, and which is equal to 0 whenever X is not belonging to Ey. Again, chi Ey of X is nothing but chi E of xy. Since X is belonging to Ey if and only if the ordered pair xy is belonging to E. Okay. So इथपर्यंत आपण पाहिलं होतं. आतापर्यंत कुणाला काही डाऊट?
No, sir.
Okay. So there is one lemma. Let E be a measurable subset of capital X cross capital Y. Then first one, E complement X is equal to Ex complement, and second one, union over I Ei. X is nothing but union over I Ei of X. Okay, so here we have given E be any measurable subset of X cross Y. It means E is of the form A cross B, where A is belonging to sigma algebra curly A and B is belonging to sigma algebra curly B. Then only we say that the corresponding E, which is subset of X cross Y, is a measurable set. Okay, set solution. And as E is a measurable subset of X cross Y, then we have to prove that E complement X is nothing but Ex complement, and union over I Eix is nothing but union over I Ei of X. That is bracket, the bracket la X hai, आणखीन इकडे union over I Eix. That is, we have to prove these two conditions. Okay. Now, see, it's proved. Here, E is a measurable subset of X cross Y. Measurable subset of X cross Y. That is, E is of the form A cross B, where A is belonging to curly A and B is belonging to curly B. That is, the sets A and B are the measurable sets. They are belonging to sigma algebra. It means they are measurable. Okay. Now we will prove the first one. For each X belonging to X, consider Y is any member of Ex complement. Sorry, E complement X. E complement X. Sorry. E complement X. But we know that Y is belonging to Ex if and only if XY is belonging to E. As here, Y is belonging to E complement X, which implies XY, ordered pair XY, is belonging to E complement, which is from the definition of X cross section. Okay. So, as Y is belonging to E complement X, then XY is belonging to E complement. Okay. And if XY is belonging to E complement, then by the definition of X cross section, y is belonging to ex complement. Therefore, it is if and only if. Okay. So now, if xy is belonging to E complement, it means that
So,
ordered pair xy. Yes.
Sir Varsha More wants to join the meeting.
Okay, त्यांना join करायचं.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if ordered pair xy is a member of E complement, it means it is not belonging to its original set, that is E. Xy is not belonging to E, which implies and implied by y is not belonging to Ex. Okay, since which is again from the definition of X cross section only. As xy ordered pair xy is not belonging to E, then y is not belonging to Ex. As y is not belonging to Ex, it means that y is belonging to its Ex complement, which implies y is belonging to Ex complement. Okay, so here we have taken one y which is belonging to E complement X and which is belonging to now Ex complement, and we know that if X is belonging to A and which implies X is belonging to B, for each X belonging to A, then A is a subset of B. As here we have taken one arbitrary y which is belonging to E complement X, and this y is belonging to Ex complement, which implies by the definition of subset, the first set E complement X is a subset of Ex complement, which implies E complement X is a subset of Ex complement, and as it is if and only if, that is implies and implied by. Therefore, if we take y is belonging to Ex complement, then we get y is belonging to E complement X, and Ex complement is also a subset of E complement X. Okay, now again we know that if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, then A must be equal to B, which implies E complement X is equal to Ex complement, and that is we have to prove. Hence the required result for first one. Okay, कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
No, sir.
Okay, now the second one. For any x belonging to capital X, for any x belonging to capital X, consider y is a member of the first one, that is union over EI of X. She is a member of union over EI of X. Again by the definition of X cross section, as y is belonging to this set, which implies xy is belonging to union over EI. As ordered pair xy is a member of this union, then ordered pair xy must be belonging to one of the EI. First we will write y is belonging to union over EIX, which implies ordered pair xy is belonging to union over EI. And if xy is belonging to union over EI, then y is belonging to union over EIX, which is from the definition of X cross section. Therefore, it is again if and only if, which implies and implied by, as xy is belonging to this union, then xy belonging to one of the EI, which implies xy belonging to the set EI for some I. For some I. As ordered pair xy is belonging to EI, which implies and implied by y is belonging to some EI of X for some I. For some I. As y is belonging to EIX for some I, then y must be belonging to its union. Y is belonging to union over EI of X. Okay. 1 minute. So here y is belonging to union, or as y is belonging to EIX for some I, then y must be belonging to its union. Okay. So here we have taken one y which is a member of this set, and we have proved again y is a member of this one. Then first one is a subset of this one, and as it is implies and implied by, then yes.
सर तुमचा आवाज अडकून अडकून येतोय सर आणि स्क्रीन पण अडकते.
येस, आवाज येते का आता?
येस सर.
ओके ठीक आहे. जर आवाजाचा प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर परत सांगा. Okay, so here we have taken one y which is belonging to this set. Suppose this one is some a, and we have proved y is member of this set b. Okay, and as it is implied by, therefore if y is member of this b, then it is also a member of a also. Therefore here again we get a is a subset of b and b is a subset of a. Then from the definition of subset, that is a is subset of b and b is subset of a, then a must be equal to b. So from this one we can write union over I ei of x is nothing but union over I ei x, and that is we have to do, and here is the required result. Okay, now the next name will be let small x belonging to capital X be any element then for, sorry, before going into this lemma there is one more definition which is nothing but the R sigma and R sigma delta. Let us see one definition. Let curly R be a collection of measurable rectangles. Okay, so curly R be a collection of measurable rectangles. It means it contains the product sets of the form A cross B, where A is a member of sigma algebra curly A and B is a member of sigma algebra curly B. Then only we say that the corresponding Cartesian product A cross B is a measurable rectangle, and curly R be a collection of such a measurable rectangles. Then E is belonging to R sigma implies E is nothing but union over I ei, where each ei is belonging to curly R, and E is belonging to R sigma delta implies E is nothing but intersection over I ei, where each ei is belonging to, now it is belonging to R sigma. Okay, now first, what is a F sigma and G delta set? What is the F sigma set? आवाज येते ना माझा?
येस सर.
येस, एफ सिग्मा सेट म्हणजे काय होता, आपण रिअल मध्ये पण पाहिलंय, सुरुवातीला बेसिक मध्ये पण मेजर चालू करताना सांगितलं. एफ सिग्मा आणि जी डेल्टा क्लोज सेट आणखी ओपन सेट वर आहे, काहीतरी आहे. एफ सिग्मा इज नथिंग बट द काउंटेबल युनियन ऑफ क्लोज सेट, and G delta is nothing but the countable intersection of open set. Okay, so here we have to define the sets R sigma and R sigma delta. Actually it is a definition which is different from the R sigma and F sigma and G delta, but the meaning of R sigma and G delta is somewhat similar to our F sigma and G delta. in F sigma and G delta we have to consider the collection of open set and closed set. Here we have to take the collection of rectangles, but R sigma, there F sigma is nothing but the countable union of closed sets, and here R sigma is nothing but the countable union of measurable rectangles, and R sigma delta or R sigma and R delta is nothing but the countable intersection of measurable rectangles. Okay, so if E is belonging to R sigma, then this E can be expressed as a countable union of measurable rectangle, and if E is belonging to R sigma delta, then this E is nothing but the countable intersection of the elements of this R sigma. Okay, so this will be the definition of R sigma and R sigma delta. Similarly, we can define R delta and R delta sigma also. Okay, now there is one note. Any set in R sigma, any set in R sigma is a countable union of measurable rectangles in curly R. Okay, which is from the definition only. That is, if R sigma, if any E is belonging to R sigma, then E is nothing but union over I EI, where each EI is a member of curly R. That is, if we take any set in the set R sigma, then it is a countable union of measurable rectangles in curly R. Since curly R is a collection of measurable rectangles, and as E is each EI is belonging to curly R, then it must be a measurable rectangle. And as E is belonging to R sigma, then we can express this E as a union over I EI. That is a countable union of measurable rectangles which are belonging to curly R. Similarly, any set in R sigma delta is a countable intersection of measurable rectangles in R sigma. That is, here we get EI is belonging to R sigma and E is belonging to R sigma delta. It means E is nothing but the intersection over I EI, where each EI is belonging to R sigma. Okay. Now there is one lemma. Let small x belonging to capital X be any element and or then for each E belonging to R sigma delta, then for E belonging to R sigma delta, set X cross section EX is a measurable subset of Y. Okay, so here we have given small x be any element of capital X and E is belonging to R sigma delta. As E is belonging to R sigma delta, then E can be expressed as a countable intersection of elements in R sigma. That is E equal to intersection over I EI whenever each EI is belonging to R sigma, and from that we have to prove that EX is a measurable subset of Y. And by definition
Hello,
itself,
sir.
yes.
सर ते अगोदरच्या डेफिनेशन मध्ये काय लिहिले सर, थोडं स्क्रॉल करा ना वरती. अजून थोडं वर.
What the result आहे ना?
नाही सर, डेफिनेशन
हीच डेफिनेशन ना. लेट कर आरबीआय कलेक्शन.
हा सर, ते त्यामध्ये EI बिलॉंग्स टू R सिग्मा लिहिलंय का R डेल्टा लिहिलंय सर, कर्ली R
कुठला त्याच्यामध्ये ना
सेकंड
R
इंटरसेक्शन
सिग्मा मधले एलिमेंट असतील ना यामध्ये. डेल्टा आहे याचा अर्थ इंटरसेक्शन आला ना माझा. इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये एलिमेंट कुणाचे येणार, या R सिग्माचे येणार. R मधून एलिमेंट नाही येणार बरं का इथं. R सिग्मा डेल्टा मध्ये एलिमेंट येणार R सिग्माचे. जर हेच R डेल्टा सिग्मा जर असता तर हे काय असतं, युनियन ओव्हर I EI असणार, where each EI is belonging to R delta A.
ओके सर.
Okay. Here we have given small x be any element of capital X and E is belonging to R sigma delta. It means E is a intersection over I where each EI is belonging to R sigma, and from that we have to prove that EX is a measurable subset of Y. And by the definition of X cross section, EX is always a subset of Y. just we have to prove that Ex is a measurable subset of Y. That is Ex measurable, that is we have to prove. Okay, so see its proof. Let E be any element of curly R, as E is belonging to curly R, and by we know that curly R is a collection of measurable rectangles, but curly R is a collection of measurable rectangles. Okay, so as curly R is a collection of measurable rectangle and E is belonging to R, which implies E is of the form A cross B, where capital A is belonging to sigma algebra curly A and capital B is belonging to sigma algebra curly B. So here we get E as A cross B, and by the definition of rectangle, if A cross B is a rectangle, then A is a subset of X and B is a subset of Y. Okay, and A is a subset of capital X and B is a subset of capital Y, which is by the definition of the rectangle. Okay, so as they are measurable, therefore they are particularly members of sigma algebras. Okay, so actually here we get E equal to A cross B, where A is a subset of X and B is a subset of Y. Now we have to define the X cross section Ex for this E. Okay, now for any X belonging to capital X, Ex is equal to. Now we know that by the definition of X cross section, Ex is nothing but it contains all the Y belonging to capital Y such that ordered pair XY is belonging to capital E. Okay, now here we have to find out the Ex, where E is nothing but A cross B and B is a subset of Y. तर मला फाइंड आउट काय करायचं Ex, X क्रॉस सेक्शन फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे, ज्यासाठी माझा E दिलेला आहे माझं A क्रॉस B, म्हणजे Ex मध्ये माझे असे Y येतील कॅपिटल Y मधले ज्यासाठी XY माझा कुठे आला पाहिजे, E मध्ये आला पाहिजे. पण इथं माझा E काय दिलंय मला, Y बिलॉंगिंग टू कॅपिटल Y such that this XY is belonging to E. E is nothing but A cross B. A cross B जर ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा माझा A क्रॉस B मध्ये असेल तर यातला पर्टिक्युलर X हा माझा असतो कॅपिटल A चा, आणखीन Y असतो कॅपिटल B चा. म्हणजे माझ्याकडे जास्तीत जास्त Y ची व्हॅल्यू किती आहे, Ex फॉर्म करायचं आहे मला. Ex म्हणजे काय, माझा Y असे Y येतील कॅपिटल Y मध्ये ज्यासाठी माझा ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY कुठे झाला पाहिजे, E मध्ये गेला पाहिजे. पण पर्टिक्युलर तुम्हाला E इथं मेजरेबल रेक्टँगल दिलाय, म्हणजे E हा माझा या फॉर्म मध्ये असेल A क्रॉस B च्या, म्हणजे ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY माझा कुठे झाला गेला पाहिजे, कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट A क्रॉस B मध्ये. आणि जेव्हा कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट एखादा ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट A क्रॉस B मध्ये जातो तर त्यामधला फर्स्ट एलिमेंट हा फर्स्ट सेट मधला असतो आणि सेकंड एलिमेंट हा सेकंड सेट मधला असतो. मग माझ्या Y साठी जास्तीत जास्त पॉसिबिलिटी किती आहेत
सर, जेवढे एलिमेंट्स बी मध्ये असतील तेवढे,
जेवढे बी मध्ये एलिमेंट असतील तेवढे असतील. कधी कधी जर माझा X हा पर्टिक्युलरली A चा मेंबर असेल आणि Y हा B चा, म्हणजे Y साठी पॉसिबिलिटी किती येतील, पूर्ण बी पॉसिबिलिटी येतील जेव्हा X हा मेंबर असला पाहिजे कॅपिटल ए चा. म्हणजे Ex काय येईल माझा, पूर्ण बी येईल केव्हा, जर X जो की कॅपिटल X मधला आहे तो बिलॉंग करत असेल जर कॅपिटल ए ला. जर X हा पूर्णपणे कॅपिटल ए मध्ये जात असेल तर Y साठी माझे पूर्ण पॉसिबिलिटी असतील जितके बी मध्ये एलिमेंट आहेत तेवढे सगळे. पण जर Xच मेंबर नसेल माझा या कॅपिटल ए चा, तर Y साठी काय बघून उपयोग होणार नाही, कारण तुमचा ऑर्डर्ड पेअर ऑलरेडी XY हा E मध्ये येणारच नाहीये, कारण तुमचा X चाच मेंबर होत नाहीये A चा. कारण ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY E मध्ये कधी येईल, जर ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा A क्रॉस B मध्ये जात असेल तर. कारण इथं E माझा काय आहे, A क्रॉस B आहे, म्हणजे ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा E मध्ये कधी जाईल, जर पर्टिक्युलर X हा A मध्ये जाईल आणि Y हा B मध्ये जाईल. जर X जर A मध्ये येत असेल तर माझं Y B मध्ये येऊ देत किंवा न येऊ देत, ऑर्डर्ड पेअरचा काय फरकच पडणार नाही, कारण ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा माझा कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट A क्रॉस B मध्ये जाणारच नाही, कारण ऑलरेडी माझ्याकडे X हा A मध्ये जात नाहीये. म्हणजे जर Y हा B मध्ये जाईल किंवा न जाईल, पण एकही ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY मिळणार नाही जो की मेंबर असेल माझा E चा. म्हणजे या केसमध्ये मला काय मिळेल, इथे 5 मिळेल, कारण हे डिपेंड करतं पूर्ण माझा X वर. कारण स्मॉल x हा माझा एकही मेंबर नाहीये कॅपिटल ए चा, तर ऑर्डर्ड पेअर हे मेंबर होणार नाही ईचा. त्या केसमध्ये मला एकही ऑर्डर्ड पेअर मिळणार नाही जो की ई मध्ये जाईल. म्हणजे त्या केसमध्ये ईएक्स मध्ये एकही एलिमेंट मिळणार नाही. एकही एलिमेंट मिळणार नाही म्हणजे तो एम्प्टी सेट असेल. आणखी तो पूर्ण इक्वल टू बी असेल जर एक्स हा जो की स्मॉल एक्स हा कॅपिटल एक्स मधून येणार आहे. जर तो ए मध्ये येत असेल तर वाय साठी माझ्या जास्तीत जास्त पॉसिबिलिटी मिळतील जितके बी मध्ये एलिमेंट आहेत तितके. म्हणजे एक्स इक्वल टू बी येईल जर एक्स बिलॉंग करत असेल ए ला. आणखी इक्वल टू 5 येईल जर एक्सच मेंबर नसेल कॅपिटल एचा. सो मला फायनली काय मिळालं, माझं एक्स क्रॉस सेक्शन ईएक्स मिळाला जो की इक्वल टू बी आहे इफ एक्स इज बिलॉंगिंग टू ए अँड इक्वल टू 5 whenever x is not a member of A. Now here this B is a member of here B is a member of curly B. Since E is a measurable rectangle, it means E is of the form A cross B. It implies that A is belonging to sigma algebra curly A and B is belonging to sigma algebra curly B. As B is a member of sigma algebra curly B, which implies B is measurable. B is measurable, and we know that empty set is always a measurable set. Since phi is measurable, since if we find out its measure, then it is equal to 0, and if a set has a measure 0, then it must be measurable. Therefore, in both the cases, Ex is always measurable. Okay, so which implies Ex is a measurable. Since B is belonging to curly B, therefore B must be measurable, and as empty set has a measure always 0, then it must be measurable. Therefore, Ex is measurable. But we know that by the definition of X cross section, Ex is subset of Y. Since it contains all Y belonging to capital Y such that the ordered pair XY is belonging to E, which implies Ex is always a subset of Y. So here we get Ex is a subset of Y and which is measurable, which implies Ex is a measurable subset of Y. Measurable सबसेट ऑफ कॅपिटल. ओके, पण हे मला कधी मिळालं जर ई हा मेंबर असेल कर्ली आर चा. म्हणजे ई जर मेंबर होत असेल सेमी अल्जेब्राचा तर मला मिळाला की ईएक्स हा मेजरेबल सबसेट आहे वाय चा. पण आपल्याला प्रूव्ह कधी करायचा आहे जर ई हा मेंबर असेल आर सिग्मा डेल्टाचा. तर त्यासाठी तो आपण सुरुवातीला प्रूव्ह केलं जर ई मेंबर असेल सेमी अल्जेब्रा कर्ली आर चा तर ईएक्स माझा मेजरेबल सबसेट होईल वाय चा. याच्यानंतर आपण प्रूव्ह करणार ई इज बिलॉंगिंग टू आर सिग्मा, दॅट इज ई इज बिलॉंगिंग टू दिस R sigma only, then we get Ex is a measurable subset of Y, and after that finally we will prove if E is belonging to R sigma delta, then Ex is also a measurable subset of Y. Then our proof will be over that. Okay, now the first step is over here, that is if E is member of semi algebra curly R, then Ex is a measurable subset of Y. Now let us consider E is a member of R sigma. Okay, as E is a member of R sigma, then by the definition of R sigma, as R is a collection of measurable rectangle, then E is belonging to R sigma, then E can be expressed as a countable union of measurable rectangles, which implies E is nothing but union over I, EI, where each EI is belonging to curly R for all I. Okay, so as we have taken E is belonging to R sigma, then E is equal to union over I, EI, where each EI is a member of semi algebra curly R. Now for any x belonging to x, for any x belonging to capital X, let us consider chi ex of y, which is nothing but chi e of xy, chi e of xy, which is from the definition of x cross section and y cross section. Therefore, here we have considered the characteristic function of set Ex of y, and which is nothing but chi e of xy, which is from the definition of x cross section. Therefore, but here as E is belonging to R sigma, then E is nothing but countable union of measurable rectangle. Just put the value of E here. So, therefore, it is nothing but chi of union over I, EI of ordered pair xy. Okay, so chi of union over I, EI. We know that characteristic function is a function which is defined from set of real numbers to its codomain. Its codomain contains only two elements, that is 0, 1. That is characteristic function gives either a value 0 or 1. Therefore, here if ordered pair xy is belonging to this union over I, EI, then this characteristic function gives the value 1. Otherwise, it will be gives a value 0, which implies we can write this characteristic function as supremum over I chi ei of x. Okay, chi of union over I ei of ordered pair xy is nothing but supremum over I chi ei of xy. हे दोन्ही इक्वल कसं आहे चेक बघा. जर ऑर्डर पेअर एक्स वाय हा या युनियन मध्ये आहे म्हणजे तो कमीत कमी कोणत्याही जर एका जरी सेट मध्ये जर असेल तर माझा हा टोटल व्हॅल्यू काय येईल 1 येईल. जर तो कोणत्याही ईआय मध्ये नसेल तर मात्र कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शनची व्हॅल्यू काय येईल 0 येईल. म्हणजे जर मी याला रिप्लेस केलं सुप्रीमम ओव्हर आय काय ईआय ऑफ एक्स वाय, जर ऑर्डर्ड पेअर एक्स वाय हा एका जरी ईआय मध्ये असेल तर तुम्ही त्याची व्हॅल्यू काय येईल 1 येईल. आणि जर सुप्रीमम घेतला तर माझी व्हॅल्यू काय राहील 1च राहील. म्हणजे हे दोन्ही त्या केसमध्ये सेम येतील. जर समजा ऑर्डर्ड पेअर एक्स वाय हा एकाही ईआय मध्ये नाहीये म्हणजे तो त्या युनियन मध्येही येणार नाही. युनियन मध्ये येणार नाही याचा अर्थ कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शनची व्हॅल्यू काय येईल माझी 0 येईल. ओके, आणखीन जरी इथं जरी तुम्ही चेक केला या दुसऱ्यासाठी एक्स वाय हा कोणत्याच ईआय मध्ये नाहीये, कोणत्याच ईआय मध्ये नाहीये म्हणजे तो प्रत्येक वेळेला व्हॅल्यू काय देईल माझी 0 देईल. प्रत्येक व्हॅल्यू जर 0 दिला तर त्याचा सुप्रीमम जरी फाइंड आउट केलो आपण तर व्हॅल्यू काय येईल परत 0च येईल. म्हणजे हे दोन्ही सेम आहेत का?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so characteristic function of union over I ei of xy is nothing but supremum over I chi ei of xy. That is, this one is nothing but supremum over I chi ei x of y, which is again from the definition of x cross section. Therefore, here we get chi ex of y is nothing but supremum over I chi ei of xy. Now, if ei is belonging to curly r, if ei is belonging to curly r, then each ei is a measurable rectangle. Okay, so here we have taken ei is nothing but, that is, e is belonging to r sigma, then it can be expressed as a countable union of members of curly r. That is, each ei is a measurable rectangle. Okay, now if we take ei is belonging to curly r for all I, which implies ei is a measurable subset of y for all I, which is from the first case. Since in first case we have taken one e belonging to curly r, and from that we get ex is a measurable subset of y. So if we take ei is belonging to curly r, then by case 1 eix is a measurable subset of y for all y, which is from our first case. Let's take this one as a case 1. Case 1, and here e belonging to r sigma is a case 2. Okay. So finally here, as ei is belonging to r for each value of I, then eix is a measurable subset of y, and which is from case 1. If eix is a measurable subset, which implies characteristic function of ei of x is a measurable function, for all I. Okay, that is we have proved in a real analysis. If A is any set, then characteristic function of A is measurable function if and only if A is a measurable set. As here the set eix is measurable for each value of I, then characteristic function of eix must be a measurable function. Okay, so here we get one function, this function take f. Okay, so here f is a measurable function since it sets eix is a measurable set, and by that result, that is, if A is any set, then characteristic function of A is a measurable function if and only if A is a measurable set. So here we have taken this characteristic function as f, so we get f is a measurable function, and we know that if f can be a sequence of measurable functions, then its supremum and infimum must be a measurable function, which implies, as here f is a measurable, therefore supremum over I chi ei of x is also a measurable function. Okay, so here we get supremum over I chi ei of x is a measurable function, but supremum over I chi eix is nothing but chi ex of y. That is from this one. Supremum over I chi eix is nothing but chi ex, which implies chi ex is a measurable function. Measurable function. So here we get chi ex is a measurable function. Again, we have to use that result. If A is any set, then chi A is a measurable function if and only if A is a measurable set. As here chi ex is a measurable function, then ex must be a measurable set. X is a measurable set. But by definition of X cross section, Ex is always a subset of Y, and Ex is a subset of Y. So which implies that Ex is a measurable subset of Y. Measurable subset of capital Y. So here we get Ex is a measurable subset of Y whenever E is belonging to R sigma. That is the second case. Now the final case, that is if E is belonging to R sigma delta, then we have to prove that Ex is a measurable subset of Y. And if Ex is measurable subset of Y, then our proof will be over. Okay. So now case 3. Let capital E is belonging to R sigma delta. Okay, now again by definition of R sigma delta, as E is belonging to R sigma delta, which implies this E can be expressed as intersection over I, EI, where each EI is belonging to R sigma. Okay, now for each X belonging to capital X, let us consider chi Ex of Y, and which is by definition chi E of ordered pair X, which is equal to, but as E is belonging to R sigma delta, then E is nothing but intersection over I, EI. Just put the value of EI, intersection over I, EI of ordered pair XY. Now this can be written as infimum over I chi EI of ordered pair XY. Okay, now we have to prove this. These two are same. Here, if ordered pair XY is belonging to intersection, the ordered pair XY is belonging to intersection over I, EI, then only we get the characteristic value of this function will be equal to 1. Otherwise it will be 0. जर XY हा माझा या इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये येत असेल, म्हणजेच तो XY is belonging to EI for all I, then only it is possible that ordered pair XY is belonging to its intersection. Okay, so if XY is belonging to each EI, then we will get the characteristic value of this function will be equal to 0. Sorry, characteristic function of this set over ordered pair XY get 1. Otherwise it will be 0. जर XY हा माझा प्रत्येक EI मध्ये येत असेल तर तो त्या इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये येईल, आणि त्या इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये आला तेव्हाच तो व्हॅल्यू 1 देईल. अदरवाइज जर XY हा एका जरी EI मध्ये नसेल तर तो काय देईल, माझी व्हॅल्यू 0 देईल. ओके, सो हियर इफ वी टेक द इन्फिमम ओव्हर R, जर XY हा प्रत्येक EI मध्ये येत असेल तर तो प्रत्येक वेळेला व्हॅल्यू काय देईल, माझी 1 1 1 1 देईल, आणि त्याचा जर इन्फिमम घेतला तर माझी व्हॅल्यू ही त्या केस मध्ये 1च येईल. जर समजा XY हा एक जरी EI मध्ये जर नसेल तर तो करस्पॉन्डिंग EI माझे काय देईल व्हॅल्यू, तर कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक व्हॅल्यू 0 देईल. आणि इन्फिमम जर घेतला तुम्ही तर एका वेळेला जरी 0 असेल, आणखी बाकीच्या वेळेला जरी तो प्रत्येक ऑर्डर्ड पेअर हा EI मध्ये येत असेल, तरी जर तो 1 व्हॅल्यू जरी दिला तर इन्फिमम फाइंड आउट केल्यानंतर मला व्हॅल्यू ही 0 मिळेल. आणि एका जरी XY मध्ये जर तो एका जरी EI मध्ये ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY नसेल तर तो त्या इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये येणार नाही, आणि त्यावेळेला माझी हा कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक जो फंक्शन आहे तो व्हॅल्यू 0 देईल. म्हणजे दोन्ही जरी पॉसिबिलिटी घेतला तुम्ही, जर ऑर्डर्ड पेअर XY हा प्रत्येक वेळेला EI मध्ये येत असेल तरी माझी इन्फिमम व्हॅल्यू इक्वल येते या केसला. आणखी जर तो एका EI मध्ये जरी नसेल तर तुम्हाला तो 0 व्हॅल्यू देईल, आणि इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये येत नाहीये म्हणून हा सुद्धा 0 व्हॅल्यू देईल. म्हणजे जे काही पॉसिबिलिटी आहे त्या दोन्ही केसमध्ये हे दोन्ही इक्वल आहेत माझे, त्याच्यावरून मी म्हणू शकतो का दोन्ही स्टेप इक्वल आहेत.
Yes, sir.
So here we get characteristic function of intersection over I, EI of ordered pair XY is nothing but infimum over I, characteristic function of EI of this ordered pair XY. Okay, now this can be written as infimum over I chi EI of X of this Y. So finally here chi ex of y is nothing but infimum over I chi ei of x of y. So for any x belonging to x belonging to capital X, we get chi ex is nothing but infimum over I chi of eix. Okay. Now here ei is belonging to R sigma for all I, which implies EIX is a
हॅलो
measurable
सर.
subset of. Yes.
सर स्क्रीन हँग झाली होती सर, दिसलं नाही काही. थोडं स्क्रॉल करावं.
Okay, sorry. So here these two steps are equal. Now from that chi ex of y is nothing but infimum over I chi eix of y, which is from the definition of x cross section. Okay, since chi eix of y is nothing but chi e of ordered pair xy. So for any capital small x belonging to capital X, we get chi ex is nothing but infimum over I chi eix. Okay, now if we take by case 2, if ei is any member of R sigma, then eix is a measurable subset of y for each value of I, subset of y for all I, which is from case 2. Okay, since from case 2, since in case 2 we have taken one E which is member of R sigma, and we have proved that this ex is a measurable subset of y. So if we take any ei is a member of R sigma, then eix is a measurable subset of y for each value of I, which is from case 2. Now if eix is a measurable set for each value of y, which value of I, which implies characteristic function of eix is a measurable function for all I. Okay, again, if f is a measurable function, then its infimum is again a measurable function. As eix is measurable set, therefore we get characteristic function of this set eix is a measurable function. And as this function is measurable, then its infimum is again measurable.
हॅलो सर.
Yes.
सर तुमच्याकडून नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लेम येत आहे वाटतं. ते आवाज पण अडकून येते, स्क्रीन पण अडकली आहे.
Okay. आता येते का आवाज?
Yes sir.
Okay, so here as this set eix is a measurable set, then characteristic function of this eix is a measurable function, and if f is measurable function, then its infimum is again a measurable function. That is we have already proved, which implies infimum over I chi ei of x is also a measurable function. Okay, so here, but infimum over I chi eix from this one, infimum over I chi eix is nothing but chi ex, which implies characteristic function over the set ex is again a measurable function. Again we have to use the result. Characteristic function of any set A is measurable if and only if A is a measurable set. As here characteristic function of this set ex is measurable, which implies this set ex is a measurable set. But by the definition of x cross section, ex is subset of y, and ex is always a measurable subset of y. Measurable subset of capital Y. So for any E belonging to R sigma delta, so for any E belonging to R sigma delta, Ex is a measurable subset of Y. Measurable subset of capital Y, and that is we have to prove for any arbitrary X belonging to capital X. If E is belonging to R sigma delta, then we have to prove that Ex is measurable subset of Y, and that is we have proved. Hence the required result. Okay. So तर काय फक्त एक आर्बिट्ररी एलिमेंट दिला होता माझा एक्स जो की कॅपिटल एक्स मधला आहे. आणखीन ई हा मेंबर दिला होता आर सिग्मा डेल्टा. म्हणजे ई ला मी कसं एक्सप्रेस करू शकत होतो, काउंटेबल इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ऑफ आर सिग्मा इतकं दिलं होतं. आणि त्यावरून प्रूव्ह काय करायचं होतं, ई एक्स इज अ मेजरेबल सबसेट ऑफ वाय. बट बाय द डेफिनेशन ऑफ एक्स क्रॉस सेक्शन ओनली, ई एक्स इज ऑलवेज अ सबसेट ऑफ वाय. सो इट रिमेन्स टू चेक वेदर इट इज अ मेजरेबल सबसेट ऑफ वाय ऑर नॉट. सो डायरेक्ट ई बिलॉंगिंग टू आर सिग्मा डेल्टा जायच्या ऐवजी आपण कसं केलं, सुरुवातीला जर ई हा मेंबर असेल तर आरचा, तर आपण प्रूव्ह केला ई एक्स हा माझा मेजरेबल सबसेट येईल वायचा. त्यानंतर सेकंड केस काय अज्युम केली, जर ई मेंबर असेल आर सिग्माचा, म्हणजे ई ला जर मी काउंटेबल युनियन ऑफ मेंबर्स ऑफ कर्ली आर जर एक्सप्रेस करू शकत असलो, तर सुद्धा माझा ई एक्स हा मेजरेबल सबसेट आला वायचा. आणि त्या सेकंड स्टेपवरून आपण जनरलाइज केलं, जर ई हा मेंबर असेल आर सिग्मा डेल्टाचा, म्हणजेच ई ला जर काउंटेबल इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ एलिमेंट्स इन आर सिग्मा जर एक्सप्रेस करता आलं, तरी सुद्धा आपल्याला काय मिळाला फायनली, ई एक्स हा माझा मेजरेबल सबसेट मिळाला वायचा. आणि तेच आपल्याला प्रूव्ह करायचं. अँड हेज द रिक्वायर्ड रिझल्ट. कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
नो सर.
ठीक आहे. त्याच्यानंतर एक थेरम आहे, ते काय होणार नाही, खूप वेळ लागेल, तर मोठा आहे. सो इथं थांबू आज. काही डाऊट असतील तर विचारा, नसतील तर लिहू करा मग.